Do you think an outside investigator is necessary?
Well, obviously not. These are all cases that were developed by the Boynton Beach Police Department and taken to the state's attorney's office. You need an outside investigator when police departments don't find out what's going on in their department and address it.
And if you had a general message when we're talking about the rest of the police force, I mean, is this representative, again, of the other people in the police force, do you think?
No, it certainly is not. This isn't representative of police in general. These are situations that unfortunately they do happen, and they don't happen with any great frequency. But the importance of what we put out to you and the importance of this investigation is that we are able to determine and to detect when something like this happens. And when that does happen and we do find out about it, then we prosecute these officers just like we would any other person who would give us a false police report.
Are there any procedures or things that you're going to be looking into for possible review in the department in light of this?
No. What this does is validate our policies and procedures, because it's our own people who were able to uncover this type of behavior and to bring it to the attention of our professional standards unit, and then we in turn took it to the state's attorney's office. Now I believe that the cases, everything that you've seen this week with the arrest of our officers, this is what's right about law enforcement. This isn't what's bad about law enforcement. This is a police agency with the ability to find out what's going on internally and then to address it the way it should be addressed.
How about even talking, taking it all the way back to hiring? I mean, does anything change on that front? Are you going to do more to try to pick up on people that might eventually have these type of characteristics?
Now, our hiring is very similar to what all the other agencies do here. There's a minimum standard for hiring specified in Chapter 943 of the Florida statutes, but our agency and other agencies go well above that when they hire officers. We do truth detection. We do a thorough background investigation. We send out for a psychological evaluation, a physical. There's really nothing that we don't know about somebody before we hire them. However, what happened here is essentially officers who took a shortcut. They knew the rules. They knew the constitutional provisions that have to be followed, and they decided not to follow them. And unfortunately, that's a violation of the law. It's one thing if the officers had come to us and told us, perhaps we wouldn't be having this press conference. It's another thing altogether when they attempt to cover it up. And when they attempt to cover it up, they step across the line, they commit a crime. And when they commit a crime, we're going to do what we have to do. And as bad as it looks on the department, it doesn't make any difference. We're going to go down that road. We know what's at the end of the road. We know it's going to look bad. But the issue is that it does have to be addressed, and it has to be addressed in the most serious way, and that's what we've done.
What do you say to your officers? They hear this, you give them a talk, or?
I did. I sent some messages out, and myself and the major, we go to roll call, and I meet with the officers every quarter, just myself and the officers. And these cases are actually not new. We've known about these cases since last year. So I've already discussed these cases with our officers at our last Quality Circle meeting, and explained to them exactly what I'm explaining to you here today. And I think all of them would say, and all of them would agree with me, that we have to take this action, as bad as it looks, and as some people will look at this as a scar upon the police department. We knew we had to do it, and we did it anyway.
Chief, how concerned are you about a perception developing in Boynton Beach that the department can't be trusted, or there are crooked officers there? How concerned are you about that, and then how do you combat that?
Well, I'm concerned every day about the image of the Boynton Beach Police Department. This is a situation where if you just look at the surface, you would say, yes, we have officers who violate the law in Boynton Beach. But what makes this different is the fact that the Boynton Beach Police Department are the ones who found out about the violation, It's the Boynton Beach Police Department who investigated these people and took the case to the state's attorney's office for prosecution. This is all done internally. I think the message to the citizens here is that we're good at policing ourselves. And when we say we police ourselves, we mean that we police ourselves. And this is a good example of it.
Is this something where you became aware of these events and started an investigation, or is it just routine policing of the department where you came across these?
No, these were actually brought to our attention. The two earlier this week was one of our sergeants just reviewing reports. We have I believe, a technologically advanced reporting system that allows us to look at everything that an officer does when they get to a call or when they provide any type of service. Once the sergeant notices any sort of deviation between the reports that are written by officers, then the sergeant is obligated to make an investigation, which is exactly what happened here. And when the investigation revealed that there may be some, that the activity would be serious enough to be a criminal violation, it was taken to our professional standards unit, and then a more thorough investigation was done, and that resulted in the arrest of these officers.
And is there anything to the timing? I mean, this is just me asking a stupid question, but I mean, they all happened in 1 week.
No, that's a good question. They actually didn't. They all happened last year, and they actually happened about a month and a half apart. Our investigation of them were going on at the same time, but we got them to the state's attorney's office earlier in the year, and it took a while for the state's attorney to process it, and it was really the state's attorney's timing that they would all be done this week. So
You proud to wear the badge today?
I absolutely am.
Chief, it seems like this guy could have just very easily, what would have been the reprimand if he would have just come up to you and said, hey, it turns out that I just didn't do the search, because I understand that they need to do a pat down when you do the arrest.
Oh, you're talking about Officer Lindsay.
Yes.
Yeah, if it's a case where you failed to do a thorough search, then that is very serious. Certainly when it involves a firearm. You've allowed a prisoner to bring a firearm into the station. Our officers, when they go in the cell block, are not armed. Our firearms are locked up. So that's a very serious situation when the only person in the cell block that has a firearm is the suspect. But what happens is, if the officer had come to us and told us that I missed a gun, I took it from the person in the cell block, it would have been investigated the same way. But there's no criminal violation there. There's a serious policy and procedure violation, but not a criminal violation. And serious policy and procedure violations don't necessarily get you terminated. There could have been some disciplinary action less than termination. However, when you complete a rough arrest form or a probable cause statement indicating that that wasn't the case, now you've attempted to cover it up, and that's a crime. And once you step over that line, you can expect to face severe consequences, whether you're a police officer or not.